And the broadcast is live. Phil Tarrant, Tom Panos, Real Estate Exposed, Thursday afternoon. The sun is shining. Looks like we're coming out of lockdown. We now have a date. Here we go. We're ready. We're buying. We're selling. Final offer. Here we go. How would you approach that, Tom? You've got to be able to give me some sort of meme on Australia coming out, with New South Wales coming out of lockdown and auction speak.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's be very clear. Daniel Andrews has said it. It's either this Saturday or it's next Saturday. The best things that have come out of Daniel Andrews' mouth in the last year and a half, real estate, we're open for business. So I've got to tell you, I've got to say to you as well, I've got to tell you, I'm more happy, Phil, and I'm self-centered. I always look after myself. But on this occasion, I'm more happy than Melbourne, than Sydney, because I've got to tell you, they have done it tough. Phil, they've had the hardest lockdown. Do you know what it is to not have seen a vendor or a buyer face-to-face when that is your life? That is your life. I had a great comment during the week from Dale Whitford from Whitford's in Geelong. He said, Tom, one thing that COVID's taught me is that retirement and being at home, not doing real estate, is not all what it's cracked out to be. He goes, you begin to realise how important work is in your life. You begin to realise this thing about, I wish I had all the money in the world to not have to work, and all of a sudden you're not working, and then you think to yourself, man, I actually like real estate. But Phil, there's a possibility, it got people by surprise. There's a possibility that real estate agents in Melbourne are going to be showing properties this Saturday. Definitely next Saturday. New South Wales, as you said, October 18, party's on, here it comes. Venues are being booked left, right and centre. Mate, are you doing what the others are doing, Phil? Are you booking into a restaurant, to go out and have drinks and eat?
Oh, mate, I'll try and avoid restaurants at the moment. I'm getting ready for summer, mate. Got to keep the rig in shape. But we spoke about this last week. We've got, I think as a company, 30 plus big events I need to go to before Christmas, mate. So there's no shortage of me going out and wining and dining and having a few soups. So I'll try and avoid that. I must admit, though, we have booked one restaurant, the Golden Century, Tom. And you would have seen it. The great Golden Century in Chinatown it's found a lifeline. It went into administration.
I thought it went belly up.
No, mate. The administrators, they got a DOCA, a deed of company arrangement, where all the creditors are going, yeah, we don't want to see you shut. Let's try and help you trade out of it. So the Golden Century is back. I'm there on the 7th of November with a ragtag bunch of idiots I normally hang around with for our Golden Century food. So the Golden Century is back, Tom. It's a Sydney institution. It's iconic. Get there. They had to sell off their wine cellar, though, mate. Probably worth a few more bucks than yours, $1.5 million.
Hang on a second, Phil.
Still there.
Hasn't been opened. You're right. This is the wine you bring out to say, hey, mate, yeah, this is what I drink. Actually, I was saying to someone today about wines, I reckon the first two glasses are what matter. I reckon if you've had the first two glasses of a good wine and then go straight into cask wine, you won't tell the difference, right? The first two glasses, they numb your mouth. Yeah. Mate,
if you want to drink that with me on the 18th for Real Estate Exposed, mate, I'll be happy to help you out with that.
Look at that. He's pretty much, gang, guys and girls, what a salesman. The journo's pretty much basically said, you can come along, but bring a $900 bottle with you. Mate,
well, I normally wouldn't drink that sort of stuff. It's a bit beyond or below my usual price point for wine, Tom, but I don't mind slumming it with you for an afternoon.
Mate, I reckon that would be
coming out of lockdown.
I reckon Golden Century on an afternoon, on a Thursday or Friday arvo, that would be good. Rodeo Grady, yay, Rody. Rody, by the way, is a special guy. Rody was my late brother, my young brother who passed away a couple of years ago. Rody is my brother's best friend. And good to see you, Rody from Wagga Wagga. Good to see you, Rody. Alex, good to see you. Jack, how you going? I'd love to find out people's views, by the way. Phil, we're not going to cover it today, but we got a big topic. This thing about vaccination at work, it's actually a topic that affects everyone. Like, you know, if you're an employer, it affects you. If you're an employee, it affects you. If you're a customer of a company, it affects you. I've got to say it's an issue because someone said to me today, he said, you, Mr. Smarty Pants, you tell me what happens if I've got a staff member who is unvaccinated and gets vaccine at work, am I liable? And they die. I said, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. And he goes, well, I'm stuck because on the one hand, I'm told that I can't force my staff to get vaccinated. And on the other hand, I'm actually told that I've got certain responsibilities about the health of my staff and the health of the customers that my staff are serving. So that's a minefield.
Yeah, it is. And real estate in particular, because people are out there, they're visiting homes, and it's just the what do you call it, the community effective real estate. If you've got real estate agents opening up places for people to come and visit and walk them through people's homes, it could be the community spreading sensation that is real estate, right? So I don't know the answer. My recommendation to any business owner is just defer to whatever the Fair Work legislation says, and that's pretty well documented now around when you can't mandate vaccinations. But, you know, there's a health issue, there's a business issue, there's an ethics issue, horses for courses. Mate, as I said, Tom, we're opening up events. We're going to be doing events from the middle of October. The ICC opens up, mate. We're going to be at it, and we'll just be following the government mandate. Whatever the government says, we will do it. And if the government says only people who are double vaccinated to come along to your events, guess what? Only people who are double vaccinated come along to our events. That's just the way it is. Follow the rules. Make it simple. Don't make it grey. Look for the black and white.
All right. Now, Phil, today we're going to cover the REB around the country. You've gone around the grounds, every state, and you've done the top 50. We're going to run through some of those awards. We've actually touched on the South Australia ones, but I'm actually having a look here. We're going to cover it, but to kick it all off, I'm going to bring in a guy by the name, like this guy, who's Greek origin. In fact, I'm going to bring him in right now. So here he is here. George Zoumakias, who is from Podium in Melbourne. Now, Phil, I told you about them yesterday when I spoke to you. It's a organisation that I've partnered with. I also know that REB have covered them, and I think you've got some sort of relationship with them. And George is in Melbourne. You are in Melbourne, aren't you, George?
Yeah, spot on. Definitely am, Tom.
Mate, can I ask you before we start off, how many weeks have you been in lockdown now there?
I believe with veterans, I have no idea. I've lost count, to be honest. It's gone crazy. It has to be well over this year. It's probably half the year's gone in lockdown, somewhat. So pretty crazy.
Okay. Anyway, let's get to it. And Phil, I'll get you to jump in and ask any questions and what you know about Podium. What I do know about Podium is they're no slouches. They've got Google behind them. And that's not confidential, is it? It's I hope
No,
not.
not at all.
It was. So Google's one of their shareholders. So who's Podium and what do they do, George?
Sure, Tom. No, appreciate it. Yeah, Podium, we're a cloud-based software. And what we do is we help to firstly organically grow the brand of real estate agents on Google specifically. And at the same time, we look at the whole client journey. And we do that through text, so through two-way SMS. So basically, we work with agencies to help them, firstly, like increase the amount of appraisals that they're getting, listings and property managers as well, like work collaboratively with them all. Ultimately, with the customer at the heart and soul of the experience. And it's all done through a text-powered inquiry system, so two-way SMS platform.
So let me tell you how I came across him. George reached out to me, and he was telling me, hey, you know, we see what you do, et cetera, et cetera. As I got talking to him, I stopped thinking about that. I was thinking about my own business. My business is based on two fundamental principles. Number one, communication. Number two, consumer reviews. What are the punters thinking? That's how I get my business. And as I was talking to him, he said, mate, do you know that we can actually send, like 1,000 text messages a day out? And this is all it's going to cost. And also they reply back, you actually have this two-way conversation by text. And all of a sudden, I stopped looking at my phone because often I'm doing two things at the one time on my phone and looking at a Zoom screen. And then I thought, man, I'm focused in on this. And then he showed me all these Google reviews. Some of the real estate companies had 500 Google reviews. And he showed me the way they were getting Google reviews. And I just thought to myself, I said to Susan, we're getting this started ourselves in our own business, right? We need to be winning the training digital footprint around the world. And we also need to have this high-tech, high-touch approach. We like talking to our clients, but we also know I can only speak to a certain amount of people, but I can text a lot of people, right? So I'm going to tell you. So Lucas says some have got 1,100 reviews. Man, that's awesome. But
Tom, I'll give you a tip, mate. You first need a pretty good business to get good Google reviews. So maybe you can work on that first before you get high tech and high touch. Because me and you, we both subscribe to the mantra. I've actually stolen that whole high tech, high touch. Some people now think it's my doctrine for excellence in real estate. So that's a caveat, but I'm sure you're okay with that. But I like it, mate. Me and you, we've done a lot of stuff. We're both pro real estate agents. The utility of real estate agents and property managers and how they're going to be driving real estate and great transactions and outcomes for customers into the future. But if you're not using technology, you're behind the eight ball. So get stuck into it. I had a really good chat with one of the guys down at Podium the other day, and I like the technology. You should be embracing this sort of stuff, whether it's Podium or otherwise. If you're not considering technology as part of your business planning of excellence in real estate, you're a mug.
Yeah. So, George, again, so to me, if you can add anything that I'm saying here, but to me, the benefits is that, number one, we clearly know before a vendor puts a home on the market now, they're actually going to go onto their laptop, iPad, or iPhone, and they're going to do a bit of Google stalking. Whether you like it or not, there's no more blind dates in business. They're Google stalking you. You might turn around and say, I'm too old, I'm not into that. Guess what? It ain't your choice. They're doing it anyway. You've got no option, right? You've got no option. You've got to be in the game because they're in the game, right? And the second thing is, I have to say, to both of you, a lot of people turn around and say, oh, no, I prefer a conversation. I prefer a conversation as well. But I often find that a text message is shorter, sharper, and achieves what I need to get it achieved. Can I ask you, Phil, are you a texter?
Yeah. And mate, I went out to that Inman event. Have you ever been to Inman, Tom? You been to Inman before?
I haven't. I watched virtual. Yeah.
I went out to Inman 3 or 4 years ago in San Francisco with Jim All, who is director of real estate here at Momentum. And it was a very important study tour to San Francisco, where we went to Inman and frequented some of the different hospitality establishments connected with it. But the one thing I took away from Inman that I still remember and I still use it today is that the cut through, number one, the half-life of leads, as in America, it's brutal. If you do not get back to someone, if you originate a lead, if you don't get back to them within like 5 minutes, burned, gone. Number one. Number two, text messaging or messaging apps is the most effective way to connect with someone in terms of the immediacy of it. Like, if my phone bings, I look at it, immediately and they're in. And no doubt, George, there's some stats around this sort of stuff, but I know most busy people will look at their phone message before they look at any other source of communication or correspondence, and you're going to get much more cut through. And no doubt you built your business around that, George. Yeah,
spot on, Phil. And that's the thing, like the text has an open rate of 98% as opposed to email. Email, you're sitting at about 18%. And again, if you think about email, it's probably the wrong platform if you're trying to really genuinely engage your buyers or customers as well. It's sort of like desensitized in terms of the experience. It's great for like mass communication, but that personalization and the intimacy is definitely delivered through text. And what we're trying to do through the industry is provide like a real one-to-one relationship between, the businesses and also and the clients in the end as well. So having that consistent one-to-one relationship personalized through SMS, but at scale as well through technology, like you both touched on as well. Is why we're sort of, working with, close to 450 real estate businesses in the country.
All right, listen, we're gonna, mate. I'm putting it out there. I reckon Podium is going to play a very big role and put a sign up in the real estate landscape, because I simply know these two things are keeping agents up at night, getting more reviews and communicating with text messaging. So, Georgie, anyone, there's a few people that said, hey, how do we get in contact below? That's it. Johnny Warren, that's asked. Johnny Warren's one of the great agents in Canberra, same name as one of the most famous soccer players. So, guys and girls, Podium. So, Georgie, thanks a lot. Much appreciated. Stay well. We'll see you around the traps. He's head of partnerships in Podium, and mate, keep my fingers crossed that in the next week or two that you can sit in the sun outside having a conversation with another human being, having a latte.
Yeah, that would be awesome. No, appreciate it both. Thanks heaps. And yeah, anyone just jump on the website. We've got a custom landing page there, and yeah, look forward to catching up soon.
Thanks a lot. See you, Georgie.
Thanks.
All righty.
Technology, high tech, high touch, Tom. It's where it's at. I like it.
It is. And I listen, it's very easy to be one of the two, right? There's a lot of people, and I get a lot of the agents that have been doing it for 20 years say, oh, Tommy, mate, look, I've got my way of doing it, it sort of works with me. But a lot of them are coming up to me now in the last 6 months and say, hey, Tommy, I've lost my brand. I used to, the local paper was my brand. Ever since they've taken, because News Corp did take a lot of papers out, Phil. During the last lockdown, I think they took out close to 100 papers out of the marketplace, right? A lot of real estate agents built their personal brand on print media, right? So what's happened is that's gone, and all of a sudden, you're just another listing on realestate.com and Domain. There's no differentiator. So you've got to get really smart at how you actually are able to repeatable, scalable, predictable ways of touching massive amounts of people that isn't using traditional mainstream media. And quite frankly, it's a bloody golden opportunity, Phil, because I actually think you can actually build a personal brand now in a fraction of the time it used to take you. There's the barrier to entry. Like, you don't have to go to Channel 10 or Channel 9 to take out a big TV campaign. If you're creative enough, you've got your own TV station on social media.
It's what we're doing right now. There's umpteen thousands of people tuning to us, whether it's via this video or podcast, every single week, Tom, to listen to what we've got to have a go at. And this is Real Estate Exposed. And today, one of those things that we want to connect and communicate to these top performing agents, top REB, top 50 agents, new ranking REB done. But before we go there, Tom, bit of news, and it's important for real estate as well. And we've spoken about this before, how, and no doubt you've got a better way to frame this than me, but how agents really need to be a jack of all trades, and their ability to communicate and talk about a whole bunch of different stuff. And that is being connected in with current affairs, what's going on with the elections, what's going on with the government, what's going on with this, what's going on with that. You should be able to use that as a tool for engaging and talking to people like a human being. There's a big bit of news today, Tom, and I think it's relevance to all Australians. I don't know if you've seen it yet. It's a whole big new announcement about a new sort of strengthened relationship between Australia, the UK, and the US called AUK-US. It's a tripartite agreement coming together. And now the headline of this, Tom, and the first part of it, is that Australia has scrapped the submarine contract that it had to build 12 new submarines through a company called Naval Group. Australia is now choosing, and it's going to be hooking up with America and the UK to get nuclear-powered submarines. And the key thing here is that it gives some sense to the strategic situation in the Indo-Pacific, which is Australia's backyard, in particular the emergence of a stronger China as a regional sort of force and power. This is big news, Tom, and it has ramifications for Australia because it's directly connected with national security and how Australians choose to live and what our future looks like. So important stuff. I recommend sort of Googling around and as a real estate agent and getting a hold of that, because that's good to know.
So Phil, when you brought it up off camera, it reminded me I did read it, but I skimmed past it. I don't know why, but the one thing I remember is as I was reading it, I thought to myself, don't take this lightly, because Biden who doesn't strike me as someone that would fly off the handle and look for confrontation was the person that appeared to be driving this. So I thought to myself, man, is that something that is there something there that, we should be concerned about? So, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to put the jigsaw puzzle together, and that says to me that they obviously think that there's something to be worried about. Otherwise, you wouldn't be looking at saying, hey, guys, we need to actually work together here, right? There's a reason why. Phil, how do you read it?
I read it just in terms of the evolving geostrategic situation in the Indo-Pacific. And look where Australia is. On the left-hand side, it's the Indian Ocean. On the right-hand side, it's the Pacific Ocean. And you look up to the north, we have our friends and neighbours. We are in a contested environment right now. The Chinese leader Xi Jinping has come out clearly, and their strategy is to be able to fight and win a regional war in its backyard. They're not looking for global expansion. They're not looking for pushing that brand globally. It is about having strength in the Indo-Pacific, and the Chinese are building up their capabilities as a result of that. So this is very much in response to the great power competition that is now the Indo-Pacific. So Australia choosing to club up with the UK and the US to procure, and they're going to build them here, which is good. We know that now. Nuclear submarines as a deterrent, as a part of its force capability for what is going to be the next generations of living inside this competitive environment in the Indo-Pacific. What does it mean for property, mate, is a big question.
Well, look, there's no question about it. Australia does a lot better having a connection, and a good connection, with China in real estate than not having a connection. I mean, for most of the last 15 years, I've got to tell you, whether they've been local Chinese or not, they have played a very important role in real estate in the areas that I've been working in Sydney. We also know the student market is absolutely massive, and it means so much to both Sydney and Melbourne. I'd be curious to know from those that are watching here whether they believe that we should be concerned about a threat of China.
Some commentators, Tom, are saying that conflict, and we're talking kinetic conflict, where there's stuff being shooting matches. We're not talking about grey zone conflict, which is happening right now. Grey zone conflict is economic coercion, it's cyber attacks, this sort of stuff. Like true kinetic conflict in the Indo-Pacific, it's not likely, it's not probable, but you know what? There is a chance that it will happen at some point in time. Now this, and it's important to frame this within the realms of xenophobia. Australia, the best outcome for Australia is a strong and healthy trading relationship with China. Absolutely. That's in everyone's benefit. The real politic of it all is that Australia has stuff that China needs by the way of raw resources and other capabilities, and that relationship should continue. However, the undertow and sort of running in lockstep with it is this sort of emerging strategic competitive challenge that we have in the Indo-Pacific. And is that directly focused at China? I'd say at Australia, I'd say not. It's more so China looking out across the Pacific towards the US. We've seen the US now pull out and the allies pull out of Afghanistan. Maybe they're keeping an eye on where the true conflict may be in the future, where the real competition is. That's probably more about competition. But anyway, that's what we all want, a strong and positive trading relationship with China, whether it's selling our raw materials or helping to educate Chinese or wider foreign students through our great university system. It's good for Australia, mate. Everything gets simulated. You would know this, Tom, and this goes back to real estate. Bernard Salt talks about the Dubai effect, and the Dubai effect is this idea of Australia being a safe haven for the Asia Pacific. It's where people who make money inside the Asia Pacific, however they make that as irrelevant, is where they like to park their money. It's a safe area, much like in Dubai. It's a very contested and conflicted environment. People who have wealth like to park that money inside of Dubai. Hence the reason why Dubai has been so strong and positive and grown rapidly over the last 50 years. So that Dubai effect still holds true, which means that money is going to be channeled into the east coast of Australia, Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne, and a lot of that goes into real estate, mate. So as a real estate agent, I'd be across this. What's the comments coming through? Is this even on people's radars?
Oh, look, we're getting, what do we got here? We got Gents, China business is business, built and road project, don't believe in the massive military industrial complex of US. No, someone making a $500 billion comment there.
Anyway, maybe a bit much for today's chat, mate, but it's happening as we speak right now. Get across it. The important news, Tom, REB top 50 agents. What's your thoughts?
I've got to tell you, well done to you guys. Well done to you guys. You guys do it so well. When you first told me, oh, Tommy, we're doing an REB across the state because that's going to bring a lot of people into the equation that might not be part of it in the REB top 100. I thought to myself, it'll probably be a one-day email and then no one's going to pay attention to it. But I was wrong. It seems to do it does matter by state. Just like state of origin, it appears it matters. I've had a lot of real estate agents sending me, and they proudly do it. You know, they send me messages and say, Tommy, you know, thanks for everything. By the way, look at what I've won, you know. And they're obviously very proud. They're very proud that they've been recognised. But, you know, now you've done Phil. So firstly, for those that might have missed the last week or two, right? For those that might have listened, can you just explain that to me?
Yeah.
We need a press release on it as well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. A quick 101 for everyone. Look, if you want more information, go to realestatebusiness.com.au. But we have the REB Top 100 Agents, which is the national benchmark for excellence in real estate. It's every single top performing agent ranked based on how much they sell, number of properties sold, and the average sales price. And we get peer competition right across Australia. A lot of the feedback we've been having for many years, Tom, and rightfully, is that, oh, that's all well and good, but you need to be selling properties in the top locations in Australia. Irrespective of how many you sell, you still need to be selling top dollar value properties in those premium locations. We get it. Your Turaks, your Mossmans, you know, your eastern suburbs of Sydney. So what we decided to do is go, okay, same methodology, but let's look at it at a state-based level so we can take localized market dynamics into question. So what we've done, same methodology as the REB Top 100 Agent, but we've done a state-based ranking right across Australia. So now real estate agents in different states can look at peer competition inside their state to see how they're performing like for like. Now, Tom, you know that real estate agents are super competitive, and we've got some of the numbers here. We'll run through them. I guess one of the key outtakes for these, for me, the top 50 agents, Tom, across all states transacted $22.1 billion of real estate in the 2020 calendar year. Interestingly, in New South Wales alone, the highest performing agents transacted $10 billion of that. So when you look at top 50s right across the state, like for like peer-based competition at a state level, New South Wales still drives the lion's share of real estate sales, and therefore, no doubt, commission in the back pockets of agents. Probably one of the reasons why they got the fanciest cars, Tom.
Yeah. Phil, I'm obsessed with these reports, and I've got them open up on my iPad here. And what I like about it is the way I've got them up on my iPad, I can go right across each column. And you guys have been good enough, because sometimes when I look at them on a mobile phone, I can't correlate all the data. Now I'm looking at it, it shows me, you know, support staff, years of experience, days on market, property sold, dollar value sold, average sold price. So you start to get a really good picture about what this girl or guy is all about, right? Example, Alex Phillips, who always has been up there, REB Top 100, New South Wales, well done again. Number one, 224 properties sold, average price of 3.13 million, right? But then I like the fact that, you know, in the top 10, you've also got people that have got half his price. David Highland, which is half his price at 1.6 million. And, oh, wow, he sold he sold the most. So David sold 228 properties, right? 228. And he's out in God's country if you live in the Shire. Michael Clark, obviously not cricketer, but he's up in Manly. Outstanding. So proud of Michael. Michael's Michael, number 2 and number 3 have been long-term clients. They're always up there. But look, Manly, Bondi Beach, expensive, 3.2 million price point. So they're up there. But what I like, what I like is some of these stories that have come out of these reports where you've got agents that are actually coming in areas that are right out of the way. And the one that got my attention was Anthony King. I don't know Anthony King, but he's number 47, right, in New South Wales, and he's in Shell Harbour, right, for the right choice. Shell Harbour, the average price is $600,000. But I got to tell you what, he's made 234 sales. That's a mammoth effort. He deserves to be up there, right? So,
that's a really good case in point, Tom, because at a national level, those numbers might not make the top 100 agents, but at a New South Wales level, we can see top performers like Anthony King operating inside of Shore Harbour, Albion Park, right? They're not the average sales price, $645,000. That's about a fifth or sixth of Alexander Phillips. So he's still selling a lot of properties, though. So that's the local dynamics that we really wanted to recognise and register. And New South Wales, it's where most of the transactions, dollar value, has been taking place. But check out Western Australia, Tom, and no doubt you can look through this list as well, and you'll see a number of different people who are part of the Real Estate Gym. By the way, how'd the app launch go on Real Estate Gym?
I've been so happy, Phil. I've been so happy with the app because I got this phobia about tech. At News Corp, every tech project used to do my head in. Tech is a bit like, you guys are a tech business, but tech's a bit like renovating a house. It always costs you a lot more. Right? And this did cost me a lot more, but I've got to say to you, Phil, I've been so happy because the app experience, some businesses don't need apps, right? Some businesses don't need apps because they're basically businesses that are done on search online. But for people that are going into an enclosed environment all the time, it's just worked really, really well. I've gone straight onto it now, and I'm having a look at what's our most recent content here that we've put in there, and the recent content that we've got is the how to master the art of online auctions. How to master the art of online auctions, and this is important, Phil, because last week, get ready for it, an agent in the inner west doing a Zoom auction asked the auctioneer during the auction, "What's the reserve again, mate? I forgot." And guess what? He hadn't pressed the mute button. And every person at the auction heard the reserve.
The auctioneer asked the agent, or the auctioneer asked the agent?
Look, I'm not 100% sure who asked who, but a conversation between the auctioneer and the agent was to confirm what's the reserve. Yeah. And what actually happened is the reserve was announced, but the mute button had not been pressed on. So every buyer knew the reserve. Now, you can imagine that's not good. That's not good at all at an auction, because basically which buyer wants to actually pay more than the reserve price, right? So that's the last.
It sounds like the content people need to be reading. I know you're not taking on any more Real Estate Gym members, but I think last week you spoke about this. You just want current members to download the app so you can read this stuff on the fly. But Tom, Western Australia, Vivian Yap from Ray White, they've done it tough the last decade out there in the West. Things are looking a lot better. Vivian's done 145 million bucks in probably 1.7 million average sale price. Good to see one of the girls, number one.
Yeah, well, I'm having a look here. Vivian Yap, average sale price 1.7, done 82 sales. She would arguably be the number one female real estate agent in all of Australia. Sean Hughes, another client of mine, number 2, 80, from Realmark. I love it when I see, girls. Stephanie Dobro, there's another client of mine. Stephanie Dobro, okay, number 6. So WA, it's so good, Jack Worthington from the agency there. I'm just going there. A lot of girls. Jeanette Abbott's there. Deborah Brady's there. I've got to say, Julia Ormiston there. So they've all been recognised. Tell you what, if you ever wanted to be working in real estate in WA, this has to be the current environment. It is a good period at the moment, Phil, in WA, by the way.
Yeah, and Victoria and Tasmania, which is another one of the state-based rankings, Tom. And you only need to compare the number one performer in Victoria versus New South Wales. Chalk and cheese, mate, in terms of the average sale price, 3.1 versus 1.5. You know, in a number one in New South Wales, $706 million total properties sold. In Victoria / Tasmania, 182. Tailor two markets.
Yeah. Sam Rigopoulos, number one for Victoria, client of mine, doubles up as same origin. Nice, good Greek guy. Sam Rigopoulos, well done from Jealous Craig. Tim Heavyside, Andrew Kelleher, Carla Freda, another great agent, you know, that has to balance being a mum as well. She came number 4 there. Helen Yan from Ray White. That's the great thing about real estate. I'll tell you the great thing about real estate. You get people that come from another country. I think Helen has come from China. She's a client of ours, and she is the number one agent for Ray White there, and she's number 2 female agent in all of Victoria. Comes to another country, no experience, and gets cracking and gets these incredible results. I've got to say to you, Phil, I reckon if you're an agent and you want to sort of get yourself motivated and pumped, download the report. I think you don't have to be a subscriber. You can get this report, isn't it? It's a free report.
Yeah, go to realestatebusiness.com.au. You can download it there.
Okay, go to reb.com.au and you can download every state, because I tell you what it gives you. It gives you intel. Success leaves clue. You start saying what's common amongst the people. And you know what you learn? Years of experience, Phil. Years of experience, they do matter, Phil. If you look at the years of experience of the top people, there really isn't anyone. Like, I'm looking at the Victorian report here now, right? Years of experience. Let's go through from number 1 to number 10. 15 years, 19 years, 31 years, 17 years, 18 years, 11 years, 21 years, 23 years, 17 years, right? I mean, success leaves clue. If you're a young girl or guy that's not even in real estate that catches this podcast or watches the live stream, there's evidence. You're not going to get rich in the first year. You've got to play the long game. You've got to build a tribe that's got your vibe. You've got to put the time in there. You've got to build your brand. You've got to build your database. That ain't going to happen after 13 months.
Build a tribe that's got
your vibe. You like that?
I'm going to steal that one as well, mate. I like it. Build a tribe that's got your vibe.
Give you another one I keep using a lot lately. Recency trumps loyalty. Recency trumps loyalty. That's an important one, because do you know how many times I've got people, oh, Tom, there's no more loyalty in real estate, no more loyalty, mate. You know, I sold them that joint 10 years ago. They never gave us a crack at it again, never called us back in. Why would they call you in if you haven't spoke to them after you sold them the property? Why would you call them in if you're no longer recent and some other young girl or guy comes in and starts talking to them, services them, helps them, you know, posts on social media, stays connected? That's why.
No, and that makes a nice way to close the loop around, you know, text message capability. You know, there's machines now that can help you do this stuff. If you haven't got the time to make the phone call yourself, right? Send them a text message, makes you recent. If you're the last person in their inbox, the last person in their mobile phone, and they want to sell, guess who they're going to think of first? They're going to go, oh, who was that again? What was his name? Oh, I'll go and check it out. Good stuff. That's good, mate, Tom. Queensland. We haven't spoken about Queensland.
Yeah, let's do that.
Which often gets overlooked, Queensland, when you start talking about it.
Here we go. We got it here. Wow. Alex Jordan, another client. I'm going to tell you, you know what? I take it for granted, right? But it means a lot to me when I see clients that I've got an association with, I work with, you know, Michael Koloshi, you know, every month after month, year after year, I go in and we have monthly training with this group. I look at Michael Koloshi there, Average price 3.5 million. He got number 4. Will Torres. Oh, number 2's not a client of mine. Oh, he could be a gym member. Sonia Trelaw. So Josh Sherwood. I should have spent more time looking at this before coming on here, right? But Phil, what's the point with Queensland? I'm having a look. Same phenomenon. Everyone's done their time. Having said that, there is a person that's done only 6 years and one that's done 8 years. But Alex Jordan, 21 years. I'll never forget it. He said, Alex Jordan, he got number 1. Alex Jordan said to me, he was earning $40,000 a year in real estate, and he went home to his wife and he said, you know what? I'm going to leave. This is not stacking up. I'm going to leave. I can't remember the detail as to why he changed his mind, but he said, I'm going to give it one real crack. I want to know that I went all in and it didn't work, right? I want to sort of just get it out of my head. And he turned his life around, So now he's the number 1 agent in Queensland, and I know for a fact he writes about $5 to $6 million in GCI.
It's pretty good going. Well, mate, to your point around success leaves clues, one of the other metrics here is support staff. The top 10 inside Queensland going through it: 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 7, 2, 1, 5. A bit of a spread, but it shows that high-performing agents have the right team around them. Maybe next year, Tom, I'll ask the question, are you or are you not a real estate gym member? Do you reckon you're going to cater for 20, 30% of all these people ranked across?
I reckon in some states more than others. I would say 40%. I'm going to have a rough guess. You got to remember, Phil, a lot of these names, I'm looking at these names, and there's thousands of gym members. The ones that come to my mind mainly are the ones that I'm having conversations with. There's a lot of gym members that say, hey, Tom Panos is our coach, but I literally physically don't sort of have a two-way conversation with them. I have a virtual relationship with them. But what do you do? Have you got a guy that's got a university degree that sits in front of a computer and crunches this stuff in?
I've got a lot of people with a lot of university degrees that complain to me after doing this, going, Phil, it's just too much, mate. So much data. Got to remember, this is the 50 top performers in every state. These lists start at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, right? So this is this gets down to the 50. So these guys are crunching, guys and girls. They're crunching these numbers and they're checking and they're finessing. Go and speak to some of the franchise heads. They'll tell you that they're getting queries from our team saying something doesn't add up here. This something you need to actually clearly highlight whether these numbers are correct and accurate and whether these anomalies are accurate or not. This happens. It is a big undertaking. I get the best part of the job. I get to talk about it, but a really talented team, Tom, who do this work. They're inside Momentum Intelligence, which is part of the Momentum Group. It's the big sort of research arm of the group, and that's what these guys live and breathe it. They geek out on it. They're nerds, right? They get into the data and they look for all those things which indicate that perhaps these numbers don't stack up, whether that's the wrong, that's different, whatever. It is a big process and it takes a lot of time, but we're committed to doing it for the real estate industry. It's important to have these benchmarks because it allows people to actually set their path in real estate. They go, okay, I want to be REB top 100 agent. I want to be top 50 inside of South Australia. What do I need to do at a baseline minimum? This is the way.
Phil, for me, it's opened my eyes a bit because often I say, you see the world as you are, not as it is. And I've got to tell you, I myself have not been someone that was into awards. It's not a currency of mine, right? But what I've learned as a coach, when I'm sitting down with someone, so when I have my first session with someone, Phil, they have a questionnaire that they fill out. So when we actually sit down, I've actually got all this information from them. What I can't get over is that most of them put down their visions and their goals when they give me their sheet. So much of it has to do with recognition of being an award winner. I just can't get over how much of them.
Tom, this is the reason why we do it. And it goes back again, closing the loop on our chat. reviews, like peer reviews, as in people who have used your services to transact real estate, number one. Number two, consensus industry opinion from credible, independent sources, real estate business, that you are one of the top performing agents compared to everyone else in the nation or in your state. That's a huge accolade, a huge endorsement. And guess what? It influences buying decisions. And that's what this is all about. This is why agents in particular and mortgage brokers should be really focusing on how they can get these endorsements outside of their own environments. Look, you can be number one in your particular franchise group in a particular state. You can be number one in your franchise group across Australia, but you're a big fish in a small pond. With the REB rankings, in particular top 100 agents and now the top 50 agents state-based ranking, you're compared against people irrespective of which group they operate under, whether they're independent, whether they're part of a franchise, whether they use this particular business model, whether they use this particular business model, whether or not they're operating at home or abroad, whether or not they've got an office front. It's all largely irrelevant. It comes down to the numbers, and you're actually compared on an absolute state-based or national base without bias or agenda on who you operate with or which particular industry association you're connected with. It is universal and it is independent. Hence the reason why it has so much currency, Tom.
Well, Phil, it's been an absolute pleasure. We've gone for an hour today or thereabouts. I've got to tell you, Phil, I've booked 10th of June, London, speaking at my first international conference for quite some time. My diary, I've taken 7 face-to-face workshops coming up. As far as I'm concerned, we are now in the final 10% of a chapter of a book. This book has been called COVID-19. It's really, really clear that we are now entering a phase where we're living with a small group of people that may get hospitalised, very small group of people will die, but for nearly the rest of Australia, you are going to be going to the football, you're going to be going to concerts, you're going to be going to conferences, you're going to be going to awards nights, you're going to be going to the pubs, you will be going to Christmas parties this year. That's 100%. People are booking tables left, right and centre. You've got the Golden Century. You've given me an invite there, but it's got conditions attached to it. Right?
Well, Tom, and it was in our calendar. You're also welcome as my guest to the REB Women in Real Estate Awards, which we can now hold. We'll be holding it this year. The date is set. I can't remember exactly when it is.
Yes, it's in December because Louise Barton, the client I coached, said to me, Louise Barton's an example. Louise Barton's goal is to be a winner there, right? So she's told me it's now moved to December.
I think it could be the first Friday or the first Thursday in December. Don't hold me to that, but it's on realestatebusiness.com. So we will be there for that. I'll also make a commitment, Tom, that me and you will host Real Estate Exposed live from the UK. I'll get there. There's a whole bunch of reasons why I need to get out there, mate. So if I know you're there, I'll frame my timing so I can come and do that with you.
Phil, how about this for an idea? If I know the event there is a bit like an ARIC event, right? But what I'm thinking to myself is, if we know I'm going to be there and we know that we're going to have a lot of agents there, why don't we do a study tour? I know you've done them in the past with the other sectors. We do a study tour of UK. I know agents are going to love it because it is also a tax-deductible holiday at the best time of the year to be there, and they get to see how the Europeans are operating. And we know the
you know what, Tom, mate, I'd be more than happy for REB and our very talented team of events people to host a study tour to the UK for that particular purpose. We've hosted many study tours in the UK. I know London very, very well. I can arrange things that no one else will ever get to do if you're not on one of our study tours. If people want to do that, mate, I'll be happy to arrange it. And yes, it is a tax deduction because it is a study tour and you're going to be learning about UK real estate. We took mortgage brokers out there about 4 years ago, Tom, and people still talk about it. So mate, I'll be all up for doing that. We can have our own mini conference prior to this particular event. And maybe you can speak to the event organisers and they can get 2 real estate celebrities from Australia to do Real Estate Exposed on stage live at the conference, mate. Who knows?
Now we can organise, mate. We can do that. He'll love to do that. Out of curiosity, and we can talk off camera. What's a good group of number of people to do a tour with?
Less than 50.
Less than 50.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But for this sort of stuff, my preference would be around sort of that 40 mark. Any more, you lose some of the connectivity and the prestige of it all. Like, when we do study tours, we do it well, right? We do it very, very well. We do experiences and have experiences that if you were just traveling by yourself, you'd never get exposed to. So we like to keep it tight.
How many days do you do with the mortgage brokers?
We do 3-day study tours. So essentially, the way I think we should structure this, Tom, is a bit of planning on the fly, but 2 days of workshops and learnings, mixed with some good experiences on the evenings, and then a really good sort of working lunch on the third day. It works really well, but it's all about sharing experiences with other colleagues and professionals. The idea is that it's a sharing environment. So, mate, I'm keen to put it together. Let's do it. REB in conjunction with the real estate gym. You can be our moderator, and we'll do everything.
When they're doing excursions and someone's holding a flag and they're walking through a city and people are following. Yeah. Could I be the flag holder?
You could be that guy, mate. And look, if you're interested, you get in touch. You either because this will be exclusive.
We're going to make this Phil. Here's another example of you come out of lockdown and you begin to realize the fragility of life, and you begin to realize the opportunities that you've got, and don't waste them when they're available, because you've learned what lockdowns and illness and pandemics do. And I'm thinking to myself, let's make this work, because I actually know a lot of real estate agents would love to do the week in the UK, and then many would probably shoot off to, Greece or Italy or France. And
get out there. There's no time better than ever. And I think, to your point, Tom, around COVID clarity, use the time you got and enjoy yourself. So if you're interested, let us know, because I imagine when we do this, Tom, it's going to move pretty quickly. But we will give Australia's real estate professionals a view of London and an experience in London that they'll never have before or after. So I'll look forward to that, Tom.
One of my highlights, Phil, is when I was there. So I've gone there and spoken at this conference 3 times now, and I had a break in one of the mornings, and I was staying in the Mayfair area, and I crossed the road, and I had 2 hours to kill, and I went into the Churchill Museum, and I think that you were the one that told me about it, Phil. You were the one, I think, told me about it on a conversation we had, and I've got these 2-3 hours, and I see it, and I go into this museum, and you've obviously been there, haven't you? Is that what you told me?
Yeah.
Right? Real eye-opener. It's just amazing to actually be there, the place where the guy slept, the place where they'd sat down and they would have meetings in the bunker on what we're going to do. And, there's just so, like, I get a buzz out of you can tell there's a buzz. London is just this, you get this buzz in that place. I don't know what it is.
Oh, London's a great town. Let's do it, Tom. Anyway, we're a bit off topic, but if you're interested, editor at REB, or editor at realestatebusiness.com.au, or text Tom, because we'll keep it tight, Tom. Keep it tight. But we've covered a lot of ground today from UK. Maybe, look, it's part of the new UK Australian Strategic Alliance, mate. We all got to be friends, get to know each other. I'm sure I can get someone from government to come and talk to us as part of our learnings.
Beautiful. All right, guys and girls, we will get information out to you. We've just decided to do it, but we'll actually get a nice landing page set up and get the dates organised, and me and you will have to have a chat offline to work out, times, what have you. Anyway, have a great week. Good news. Spring's here. Doors are opening up. Even there's a smile on, Daniel Andrews' face. Couldn't get over it when I read it. He goes, yes, we've got to have common sense here, he said. Common sense. Of course we've got to have properties available for people to see. I thought to myself, I'm going to replay that again. I heard it. He said it. So, Melbourne, what's coming is better than what's gone. See you later, gang. See you, Phil.